Oh, hello there, outliers. Niiamah here, and thank you so much for letting us be a part of your journey here today. We're jumping in on an Outliers Edge roundtable where we get a chance to like slow down and really showcase not just one person's journey, but how that journey continues to expand to create more impact, more income, and more of an identity as you continue to go on. Marianita, I am so thrilled to be in conversation with you today. Thank you for making the time for this conversation. I would love for outliers to get to know you a little bit more. Would you mind sharing more about you and the game you're currently playing?
For sure. Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. I am really honored to be in this podcast and to share a bit about my story and where I'm going and what game am I playing right now? I'm playing the game of life. Let's put it that way. In this life chapter, in this stage, I'm like imagining in my head, that life board that you used to play.
Oh yeah, no, when you say you're playing the game of life, I took you literally. Go ahead.
Yes. I'm now with, like the car, the marriage, the kids and everything. And I am on the path of my career. Do I switch my career? So yes, I am in that switch, in that path where I am a mental health speaker. I'm a comedian. I am a mentor. And it's been a lot of fun. I would say in this real life, the board seems to be quite longer than that short game, but it's a ride that I've been learning a lot and enjoying a lot.
I appreciate that here, Marianita. Like, one, I just think we're gonna have a lot of fun. You bring so much energy here. And outliers, if you don't know Marianita, like, spend some time in her world. Like it's good energy, but also at the same time, and something I really respect about you, it's grounded. It's grounded in things that matter. And you find ways to use your platform to not just entertain, but to actually like and to uplift and to transform. And through more how do I say it? Through topics that like traditionally have to be held in like a certain way that doesn't like really bring a lot of levity to it or anything else like that. And so outliers like we're like in terms of just like checking out other outliers who are up to cool things who are playing the game. I certainly recommend checking out Marianita's world here. Right. Marinita, what's the best way? What's like if, out of all the different? I know you're connected on social and stuff. Like if an outlier like is hearing this and like I just need to jump into your world, what's the best way for them to go do that?
I would say on Instagram is it's Marianita Santiago. So ITS Marianita Marianita Santiago Santiago.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
that's
Perfect.
where you can find me. And today it's Friday. On Fridays, you can find me dancing on my social media, sending good vibes to the world.
Right. So like this is what I'm talking about. Like good vibes setting in at the same time you have so many other things going on from mental health to speaking to comedy. And we're finding you said you're finding you right now in a bit of like a career shift here. So why don't you let us know a little bit about that here? Like what's like when you say you're in a career shift, what does that look like for you? Because I'm sure there are outliers out there that are also like, yes, I'm all these things, but I'm also still on my path of bringing like where I really want this all to land.
So I would say life, the game of life, after a few roles, has taken me here, but it's the game that I'm playing right now, let's say about my speaking, about my comedy, my stand-up comedy. It's something that I always wanted since I was little. It's something that I've always dreamt of since I was very young, since I was a teenager. And I feel like in life, we get so busy, right? We get into the routine, we get into go study, go out with your friends during the weekend, go watch this TV show that now I feel like it sucks us into this world of like more distractions. Um, that I feel like in the routine, it's something that I say in one of my talks. It's like we become a zombie in this society, right? We are adjusting the routine. We're going. We know that we have to work. We know that we have to find a job. We know that we have to study. And then all of those dreams that we've had they kind of like fall through the cracks. The way that I always say it is like I had all of these dreams and I just put them in a box, put them inside of a drawer, and I forgot about them. And yeah, I studied, I graduated. I'm from Venezuela originally. And there I had a successful career in the pharmaceutical industry. I had experience in marketing where I was exposed to talking to people because I had the opportunity to launch to launch products. So I was able to talk to the executive team, to the sales team, and it's something that I loved about that I was doing. And when it came time to move to Canada, it was really hard to find that job in marketing, to find that exposure of talking to people, because I ended up working in the hospitality business and the interaction with people was a bit different. And then I jumped into finance. And because in the back of my head, I was somewhat looking for this challenge, for this talking to people, be in front of an audience, I started doing comedy. In Spanish, which is my mother tongue. And then I switched to English because I was like, I think I'm pretty good at this. So why not try it in English? And even though everyone told me not to do it, I did it. I knew I could do it. And I was like, I will let the audience tell me if they like me or not. And I started doing comedy in English for years. And I've seen the impact that I've had on people. My comedy, it's about my life. It's about the things that happen every day. It's about telling the truth about all the things that we don't say because we are afraid that society might judge us. And I found that it's one of the things that I kind of put in a box a long time ago, that I was like, I love being in front of people. I love impacting people's life. I love telling my truth that tells other that shows, and that's what comedy is about, right? Like other people say, I've been through that. Oh my God, yeah, I've thought of that, right? Like you are the representation of that voice. And as I kept working on my comedy, I started thinking, okay, I want to impact people, but in a bigger way. I'm not saying comedy doesn't impact people, because it does, but I was like, I want to do it at a massive scale. I want to do it in a different way. I want to do it not only because we're laughing about everything that happens to us in life, but kind of like being truth about everything that we go through. And I feel like mental health is something that has accompanied me, or that I have been taking care of for quite a while in my journey, because since very early in my life, I had like suicidal thoughts while I show good vibe energy, while I am smiling all the time, right? So people think that I don't have a bad day in my life. And the reality is that I decided to never show it. So that's when I was thinking, okay, I want to impact people in a bigger scale, and also that they can laugh with me while I do it. How can I do that? And that's when I joined this path of being a keynote speaker. I'm thinking in Spanish. I had a podcast in Spanish this morning, and it was like, the word in Spanish, it's conferencista.
Mm.
To be at conferences and be talking about mental health and have this impact, bring the comedy that I do with me, bring the humor that I do with me. And that's what I've been doing for the last few years. And all of this, I've been doing it as a, like, let's say on the side, because the reality that we all face is that we gotta pay our bills, we gotta live reality, right? We need to take care of our lives first. And so I've been working in finance in Canada, and that's what I'm doing. And it's been a process to accept this job, to be happy with it, happy with the flexibility that it gives me to do my other job, my passion, the one that I want to live like off. And it's kind of been kind of like a journey, because at the beginning I hated it, right? I feel like many of us want to do this on our side, like on the side, want to follow our passion, but at the same time we're hating our life. We're like, oh, this is not what I want to do. And I went through that process, and now I am thankful for the job that I have the flexibility, that it pays my bills, that gives me the opportunity, the time to focus on my passion, because I know and I trust myself enough to know that in a few years, I'm going to look back and be like, oh my God, look at where I am. I am living off my keynote living off my mentorings that I'm doing. And I think it's a path. That's why I was saying that it's a bit longer than the game of life, that sometimes it goes quite fast. The reality is that it's a long path. It's not something that happens from one day to another, right? Overnight, as you say in English, like that it happens overnight. And I feel like we're used to in social media to see so many people that all of a sudden they go viral, and a lot of people are like, oh, they just went viral. But when you actually see the story of those people, they've been working for years, and
This
I
is
feel like that's a key.
this is something that, like, as you're saying it, Marianita, I was actually thinking about it, like, something about what you're talking about, the game of life, and it going much longer than you think, right? That really caught me because I'm playing with my own version of this right now. All right. The version of like, is the game of life long, you know, or is it that like I was sold like an idea that like I should be able to finish the whole game in three rolls, you know, or whatever that is, right? And I think part of what like as you're saying it, it's taken me to that element of like, hey, you the things that get traction, that go viral, so on and so forth, are um those are the stories that tend to get the spotlight on it. And what I think I get about you is like is kind of on two different areas. One, it's like you're going to put spotlight on stories that don't get as much. So you're talking about mental health. You're doing it in a way like you bring that in. And then the second thing here is like it almost feels like it's hard for people to see the spotlight of what's going on inside of a person. Right?
Yeah.
Uh, I would love to like talk like if you're good with it, spend some time in that world with you here. Like you have great energy. Like outliers can go in, like if they're listening to this on the Friday, like they can go and dance with you. If they're not listening to it on the Friday, they can go put it on their calendar to come and join you on Friday to go and do it.
Yeah.
And like as you're saying this, it made me think to something for myself, which is like one of the reasons I started this podcast is that I wanted to help people. I'll put it this way. One of my coaches said to me, we often compare how we feel on the inside with how others look on the outside, right? And it's in that like it's like we don't know what's happening. We're not doing apples to apples at all. It's like, wow, this person's energetic. They have so much going on. They're in finance. They have all these things. They must be set because when I think about myself, I don't feel as though I have all these things going on for me. And so if you're good with it, Marianita, um, I would love to have that kind of like a conversation that's like what's happening underneath the surface. Are you good with that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah. So like I think this is a question that's coming in for me, but it's like, and I think if you're good with this too, I think I have to play with you. Like, and
Right.
what I mean by that is like, I think I also have to be a participant for a bit. Otherwise,
Okay.
I'm just like leaving you on an island, and I don't think that's like all that fair for you. But like the question that's coming for me is like if we really knew you, we would know, right? If we really knew you, we would know. I think I should answer this first. Um, Oh, wow. Did not expect this. So, if you really knew me, outliers, you would know that um, deep down, I I don't even know if it's deep down, but like I I spend time curating and being with a lot of people because deep down, I am just like my biggest fear is being alone. And so while it looks like like it's easy for me to go meet people, or you're listening to the podcast and you're hearing five, six people at a time, or you keep seeing all these things here, it's because I had to spend my life trying to curate different skills to allow me to be able to essentially work in any situation, almost be a chameleon. And for years, it meant that I didn't even know who I was. So if you really knew me, you would know that. Marnita, like if there's something here that like you might offer to outliers who, I mean, I know we're still just getting to know you, but if we really knew you, what might be something that you might throw into the mix?
I'm like, that was deep. Let me think. Um, if you really knew me, let's say all those thoughts that used to come for years to scare me that I would take my own life and everything, I overcame those thoughts years ago. But sometimes where it's either the anxiety or or insecurity or pain, they somewhat come back. And the difference now is that they don't haunt me. Let's say they don't, I'm not afraid of them anymore. I still do pray. I'm a Catholic and I used to pray to my sleep to be sure that nothing would happen. And I still pray today, but I don't fight with those thoughts anymore. So even though I'm in a different chapter in my life, I'm in a different path, I'm talking about how you overcome all of these things. The fact is that thoughts always will come, right? And the difference today is that I know those thoughts don't represent me. I know those thoughts are not, let's say, haunting me. And I am able to have this dialogue in the sense to say, thank you, but this is not what I want. Thank you, but this is not what represents me. I am happy. I have everything that I want, and I am happy from the inside out.
I appreciate you, Marianita. Thank you for playing this game. Yeah, yeah. We like the it's something interesting here, especially like you and I, we have our platforms, right? We have our ways of being able to connect with people, and it's interesting to see like what we do with it, right? I realized here, you're like, oh, that was deep, and I was like, yeah, and like that's the game I want to play, right? And we get to choose this game as we're playing this game of life here. Um, I really respect you for choosing the game that you've chosen to play, and I would love to, and I think it'd be really meaningful for different outliers here to see like what I'm getting from you, even just with what you just shared right now, is like you're constantly making a choice, right? You could have I don't know the circumstances that took you out of Venezuela, but I'm assuming like you could have stayed in Venezuela, right? You could have like come out to do comedy, but stay in just Spanish, like you continue to expand each other because of the challenge. So what's something right now that you're challenging yourself on that like, there might be an easier way to do it, but it's not the Marianita way, what's something right now that you're taking on that's challenging you at this moment?
So, because I've had many changes in my life in the last few years, like I moved city, I started living with my husband, the kids, like I got married, so many things. It all came at the same time when I was like, okay, I'm gonna go full on everything that I want to do, right? And that part of me, like again, my dreams, everything that I wanted, I want to be a good wife, I want to be a good mother, I want to be a good worker, I want to be a good speaker. It was, I was like juggling many things at the same time. And I think sometimes you kind of like are harsh on yourself on like, oh, but I didn't do this. But at the same time, you kind of like got to stop and look around and look back and say, look, everything that I've achieved, look, everything that I've done. So out of like all the 10 dreams that I had, I have 8 grabbed by them. I don't know what express I can say. They're there, they're mine, I'm happy with them. And these 2 are the ones that depend fully on me, right? And it's like the challenge would say, I want to be all of those things. I want to wear all of those many hats in my personal life because it's a person that I want to be. I want to be that person that gives good vibes to people. I want to be that good friend. I want to be, and it's kind of like hard, I would say, to choose yourself every single time, right? So when I'm overwhelmed now, I am like, okay, you're overwhelmed. What are you going to do? I can choose you with balance in your life, dedicating time to my family, dedicating time to my friends, dedicating time to myself, and then say, okay, where do I start? Let me put myself in action. Okay, let me do this one little by little. And as I say in my talk, it's a matter of doing one change per day. Like one change per day, it's 365 changes per year, right? And it's sometimes we think that we need to do this huge changes or this huge things all at once for things to happen. And the reality is that it's the little steps, the little rocks that we put one on top of each other that actually form something. So I think the challenge right now is that kind of like, okay, I checked all the boxes. 8 dreams are mine. They're here with me. I'm happy with them. How can I do everything together to achieve all those other dreams that I'm missing, to also grab them fully and have them with me and make me full, because they make me happy, but I'm in the process of chasing them, right? Or chasing where I want to go, which is like a very far.
Yeah, slow me down on that one. I thought I was gonna go ask a different question, but right when you asked that one, I was like, oh, I really am I'm curious about this. You said, um, so you're in the process of chasing them, but like what did you mean by that?
When I see myself as a speaker, I am conquering masses. Like I am doing my tour. I'm doing sold out, like it's city to city, country to country, taking advantage of all my both languages. And right now, yes, I am doing speaking. I am doing like I have exposure. I have many things that I have achieved, but again, I want to be I want to be here.
Yeah. And
So
if you're listening to this, she has her hands in two different places, and there's a gap. There's a gap. Okay.
it's like both limits of the both ends of the camera. And
Yeah.
again, I am happy with where I am, but going back to what I said at the beginning, this is a path that it's longer, that it takes a while, and I understand that that's a path. And I feel like the people are successful, again, when you look at their story, is they never gave up. They never gave up. They received all the no's in the world, and they never gave up, because the one that gave up could have been even bigger than the other one, but they just stopped trying. And I feel like that, I know that it's my calling. I know that it's my path. I see it. I see it since I was like small teenager. And I know it's there. So because my dreams are so big, I've learned to, okay, Mariana, you can't be that harsh with yourself, because look at everything that you've achieved. And let's take little step by little step, because all those little rocks that you put together will form that huge rock that you want to see there.
I love this here. Like, because like and thanks for acknowledging like you have achieved a lot. Like 'cause I think that's important, right? Because like there's more. There's like there's the huge tour, all that stuff. Um, but even as you're talking, I'm like, oh, like how do I say it? I get that like you in some ways you are already the person that you are creating yourself to be, you
Mhm.
know, and there's more, there's more with it. I just really resonate with that.
Yeah, and you know what? Another thing is that, like, so I come from a Latin American culture, and whenever I told my mom, even when I was doing comedy or whatever, they're like, "No, Mariana, but you're old already. You're like 30 something already." And for me, no. Like, again, look at all those people that are out there that have achieved their goals, their dreams, everything past 40, past 50, past 60. Like, I feel like also age shouldn't matter, like I feel like that's why when I see my future, I see it so bright that there's no a timestamp on it.
Yeah. Like when you're talking about this here, Marianita, I think it's like it's part of the reason why I like talking to outliers and trailblazers because I don't know the way I describe it is I'm like I'll use myself as an example. I'm like, I'm not supposed to be here. Like the vision that I had of myself when I was 17, like I even stuck there, but what came to my mind right now is like, I'm like, I am the son of two amazing people who both came from Ghana, who happened to meet themselves in the US, and then like had a child out here. And I think about that for me, that hits me a lot, Marnita, because I think about this often, where I'm like, I could have had the same exact parents. And had they met in Ghana at like, I would have had a very different life or any other
Yeah.
country, right? And I would have still been physically me. There were like there was
Yeah.
nothing that would have changed, but my entire circumstances would have been different, you know? And so there's something in what you're saying that hits me because I feel like this is why I do this. This is why I keep bringing people on here. It's just like the fact that you are here already, like means that
Mhm.
you have taken like of course you could be successful at this at whatever age you want to do because like have you not seen all the other things that happened here? Do you
Yeah.
not get like I'm doing you're not speaking in your first language. It's not the country that you were born in. It's not any of those things. And look at what you're accomplishing. So of course, like I don't know how to describe it, but when you say it, I'm like, yes, it's inevitable. Obviously, because like people would have said, well, it wouldn't have been possible for you to go to Canada. It wouldn't be possible for you to go do this. It wouldn't be possible to go do all those other things there. And you've just by living your life, you've shown that like, well, that's not the case. I'm gonna pause right now because you actually like you tapped on something inside of me right now that is just like really like ignited this out like because I think that's it. Like this is what I talk about like the outlier path. I'm like, yeah, but like we're here. We're not supposed to have done this already. Like, why would you? How could there possibly be a limit if we've already broken through the limitations that most people would have thought? Love to get your thoughts. Love to see what's happening inside you as I say this.
And I mean, I thought of many things. But first of all, I feel like there's no limit. Limit, it's death. The day that you die, that's a limit for you in this world, in this reality. And I know you were saying about the game of life that it's long, but the reality is that we never know when it ends, right? And I feel like, and taking something that you said before, and also something that I was thinking is that it's about choosing, right? Different every single time. And it's something that I also say like on my talk, and it's about we all of us have the opportunity to always choose differently. Either if something happens to us and we did something that we didn't like that we did, because we're humans and we sometimes make mistakes, we can always choose different. And I feel like it's the choices that we make that brings us in life. So to where we are right now. So it's all the choices that I've made that brought me here, even to be here sitting with you. And it's because I said yes to the podcast, right? And all of those steps that, and I said yes to doing my podcast, that when you contacted me, right? It's like, I said yes to this idea of telling people how we can be better human beings, how to get out of the routine. And I feel like it's, we have to be thankful. Sometimes we're also harsh with everything that happens into our life, right? And we have to be thankful with everything that has happened, because we wouldn't be the person that we are if none of those things happen, either if they're good or bad. And I can tell you that, like, when I get asked questions like, what is the best thing that ever happened to you, what is the worst thing that ever happened to you, it's impressive the weight that they both have. Because if it's a bad thing, great things, I learned great things from it, and of course, well, the sad part, it's like the obvious one. And it's like, it's kind of like hard to put into perspective that something bad that it happened, it's all bad, because we learn from it. We learn to not make those mistakes, or we learn to how to react to different situations.
Yeah.
So I feel like, yeah, and sorry, to close that idea, it's like sometimes we say, oh no, but this shouldn't have happened, this shouldn't have happened. And it's like, no, let's be thankful. As long as we learn from the experiences that we face, it's winning. And as long as we choose differently, how are we going to behave next? It's a winning game.
I love this element of like, so actually, I want to jump in because I'm like, oh, that's what's going to work on the podcast. But I also want to let this sit in, like outliers. Let that like play in for you. One of the things that really struck me in what you were saying there was like this element of choosing differently. Because like I hear it, I hear you consistently making choices, right? You even like, hey, look, when thoughts come into my mind, like I can still I choose how I want to be with that. I can choose that there are easier options all around me every day. And I choose the ones that like will be a challenge, that will keep me growing, that will keep going in there. And so outliers, like let's bring ourselves into this moment. If you're cool, I'd like to just give ourselves a chance to like just check in and look like my invitation here is to actually I think this is gonna be like a 48-hour exercise. Over the next 48 hours, see what you are choosing. Like pay it, like bring your awareness into what you are choosing. How much are you right now allow over the next 48 hours? Like making a conscious decision to choose something different, to choose differently in Marianita's words. Like there's something really powerful in that. As you were talking, I I was going through I realized the way I've been choosing to hold this period of time where I'm playing like my roles seem to be taking a lot longer on a game of life. Like, and I'm used to like stepping into something and getting the immediate reward, stepping into something and
Yeah.
not even knowing that a reward was going to come, but people being like, "Wow, that was amazing. That was great. How did you do that? You should come over here." Like, I feel like I'm in. It feels like in a lot of ways that things are off. I'm like, what am I doing wrong this time around? You know? And in
Mhm.
hearing what you're saying, I'm like, oh, I might be choosing to think that there's a right or a wrong. It's not like that entire paradigm is a choice that I can playing or not. Otherwise, I can just be like, this is where I'm at right now, and I'm building something that's important to me. And every time I check against it, I still want to do this. I still want to be here. I want to be with that. You know, Marianita, what's this bringing up for you?
Wait, I had it. I had the thought that it's
Yeah.
like
Sorry, I did come to you real quick, so don't worry about like having to like produce. Like you're fine. I recognize it.
it's no, I was thinking of that sometimes, yeah, there's no right or wrong, right? There's like things just are. It's how you take them. And even if something, because we're humans and we're stubborn sometimes, even if we're feeling like we're on the downhill on the let's say you went down because down it's fun. Woo, you
Yeah.
went and now you kind of like got stuck at the bottom, right? It's up to you how many days, how many weeks, how much time do you want to stay at that bottom? And as I was saying, like we're humans and we're stubborn sometimes. We like to hit the same wall many times. And the key is, do I want to keep hitting the same wall or do I want to maybe choose different walk around it? You know, or laugh at it, laugh at it, look at all my marks on that stupid wall. Look at one eye mark there, one teeth there. Like maybe use that as you know, like as stairs to go to the other side and laugh at it while you're doing it. But it's a matter of choosing how long do you want to stay there. It's about recalibrating, and if it's an idea that you're like you really want to do it, it's a matter, okay, let me then look at that wall from a different angle. If that's that same wall that you want to be hitting, then let's look at it at a same angle. Let's look at it around. Let's see it, you know, with a different lens and see what it comes out. And I feel like it's a matter of trying. I don't know what exactly it is, but I mean, it's a matter of trying multiple times, looking from a different angle. And if it's still that wall, it's still there, you can still not surpass it, then let's take a different choice and walk around it. Maybe you'll find that wall later on. It's okay to leave it behind.
I'm letting that hit me. You know? Yeah, I'm letting out this wash over here. I think uh I was particularly moved by the make a staircase out of your teeth that have been lodged into the wall, right? But I think that there's just so many options out there,
I was like,
if
use
we
the
choose.
pieces of yourself on that wall to push you
Yeah.
forward. Huh? Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, no, but like I think this to me is the fun, right? This is where the options come. This is where the opportunity is. Like there's really and most other people would not have thought to, use the piece of themselves to get over that wall, but that's how you do it, or that's how you did it this time. Um, and staying in the game to play it. Marinita, we're gonna wrap up here. I'm excited for the big game that you're playing, right? I'm very excited for that here, and the coast to coast like tour, like bringing all these things together, like it's really quite cool. And what I'm very excited about to see is like how you're going to keep choosing as time goes on, to keep playing this game. It's pretty awesome. Outliers, I'm going to speak to you now and ask like if this podcast grows by word of mouth only. And if there's something in this conversation that really resonated with you, like we would really appreciate it if you would go and share this out with your people. You know, that's how like, I think Barney, you have a message that's meant to reach people, you know. And I want to make sure that we can do our part to go and support that. And if you want to, if you really want to take it, that's going to give us like elevating this message. But we also look at things about also bringing depth to the message. And the way that we do that is that you can join us in a one person, one conversation at a time initiative by thinking about one person in your life would really benefit from hearing the conversation that Marianita and I have been having here, and send it to them with intention and let them know, like, this is my gift to you. Go listen to this episode because there's things that happen in this conversation that would deeply impact you. And send it with love and know that you get all the love from us as well. All right. Marianita, we're wrapping in. I don't typically do this with people, but I'm gonna ask you this year. I call it an outsight. In a bit, I'll ask you for an insight, but an outsight is what's a message like that you want to share with any outlier who's listening to this, anyone who's blazing their own trails going forward. What's a message that you would like to share with them that they can walk away with?
I think it's kind of like it's two messages in one. One that I've said a lot, it's know that you can always choose different. If something happened to you or if you did something, you can always choose different and choose to be the best version of yourself, which is to be true to yourself, to be loyal to you and what you want, and take life with a, a grain of salt, like make happy that inner child that you have, like see life with joy, see life with laughter, because when we face tough things, when we make our way to laugh or find the joke in it, it makes it less heavy.
Thank you for that. Well, Marianita, one of the things I want to ask here is, would you mind sharing with outliers how they can continue down the journey with you for anyone that wants to spend more time in your world or wants to like bring you to their part of the world for your tour and beyond? Can you share how the best ways for them to do that?
So right now I'm working on the website, but it is the same handle as my Instagram. It's Marianita Santiago. And I can spell it again if you.
It's on. They can see it in
Okay,
the episode title.
perfect.
Yeah.
But that's where they can find me. I believe my contact is there, my email is there, everything. If they want to reach out, DM me, anything. It's there also on my YouTube. I have Marianita Santiago, my podcast called, well, I need to get back to it with a new focus on mental health, but it's still very valuable information. It's is Mariana making sense? Because everything that I touch there, it's for the audience to decide if it makes sense for them or not.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. I love that you're keeping it open that way. Well, thank you so much, Marianita. I almost closed without my favorite part of this whole thing. My favorite part of this whole thing is let's leave outliers behind. Like they're good. They're still listening. They're still part of this here, but they're taken care of. We gave them an outside. We let them know how they can continue down with you. I'm curious for you, Marianita. Like the reason I have these conversations is for each of the people who come on the conversation to also benefit. So, what's an insight or takeaway that you're getting from this conversation that you're going to use outside of this here?
You know what? It's like, again, we're humans and sometimes we are harsh with ourselves and sometimes we doubt ourselves at the truth, right? And we gotta keep choosing ourselves. And the insight from here is as I'm talking to you and as I'm having this conversation, it's a reminder to myself, keep working for that dream because you will get to the top of the mountain of that game of life. It's I'm thinking about the TED thing, like ideas word spreading, but I feel like we need to be more connected to ourselves and I love having deep conversations, and I feel like we don't do it enough for that growth that we're looking to have and for that change that we want to see in the world.
I'm deeply grateful that we got to spend time here together here today. Outliers, this is just the beginning. That's the way I like to look at it. This is just the beginning. Um, be well until the next time we talk, and remember to be you on purpose. Journey on.
Thank you.